Rawr!
angry about cats.
When did we all get this dumb? Almost only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear warfare. I don't see any bodies, so it doesn't count.
I'm angry about cats.
I'm the chef. I want to hear one thing. Yes, chef.
Come on, man. Use your brain.
The Why I'm Angry podcast starts now. All right, guys. Thought I'd get on here. We're not going to do a full-on live broadcast tonight. It's a little bit early here. I actually have NFL fantasy football draft tonight. So it's the season, best time, best day of the season. You get to hang out. A lot of times it's live with friends and draft some players. No one's lost anything yet. No one's gained anything yet. And at this point, I could be the champion. So yeah, definitely wanted to get on here though and talk to you guys. Um, Obviously, it's the chef here in the Freestyle Man Cave studio, and just wanted to get on and kind of cover a few things here. And one of those things is I was looking over um, the articles, the headlines going through over the week here, and Telegram, the founder and CEO Pavel Durov was arrested on Saturday at France's uh, Bourget airport in Paris. So basically the reason that this is important, Telegram is one of the largest, world's most popular social media apps. Um, and that's, honestly, obviously, it's behind Meta, the Facebook app, the Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube, TikTok, WeChat, all that good stuff. But it is one of the, probably one of the top 10 um, social media apps. And he was arrested, and the reason he was arrested was that he didn't have enough Overwatch on his app. So the app is popular among journalists, activists, dissidents, um, but has also been used by extremist groups and people involved in drug trafficking and distribution of child sex abuse and images, or sex abuse images. And so we I was just looking at this, and this is kind of one of those big things, is that if you're you know we've talked about the state of security and the overreaching surveillance community coming on and things like that. And just if you're looking at this, this can start to get kind of scary because yes, you want to stop extremist groups like drug traffickers, sex abuse, child endangerment, child sexual abuse images, um, any of that kind of stuff. At the same time, you want to be able to say the things that also make political people upset. And so, if he's breaking some kind of law with the with allowing child abuse images and things of that nature, then you know okay. But if it's just the fact that he has a lack of content moderation, I also saw that the European Union sent Facebook a strongly written letter about their moderation. about the fact that they're allowing people who may speak out about, may incite violence or dissidents, and that kind of thing, and that, you know, that they may be shut down or they may face criminal um, prosecution for their activity. Um, the owner, the CEO of Rumble, has also just basically just said that they were leaving Europe. They had fled Europe to make sure that he wasn't getting arrested, because Rumble is also one that allows more of the free speech aspect. I'm not sure whether you can, you know, drug trafficking and things like that have been prevalent on it, but I know that they are more for the free speech and stuff like that. We have obviously right now are on Rumble, so we stand with Rumble on being free speech, not you know moderating the content as much as censoring the content. I know of one of my favorite bands, Demon Hunter, was on Instagram or on Facebook, basically posting that they'd been shut down on Instagram. They had gotten a notice saying that they were going to be shut down for good. Yeah, if they didn't, go through the process of appeals, because they were associated with an account that had um, violated their rules and responsibilities clause. And so I think with that, I didn't end. I know that they're back up and running and stuff like that, but the one thing with that is like we had an issue on our side of things and on Instagram, and I'm not sure that we've ever gotten back up and running on Instagram as the Why I'm Angry podcast. But I know that with that we got actually hacked, and the hacker, before we noticed it, because we don't post every day, posted 3 or 4 spam messages and stuff like that, changed some of the backgrounds, changed some of the our quotes or whatever quote, it was changed a description of us and that kind of thing, and so we got actually shut down on it. And then I went back to like appeal and all of that, and I'm not sure that ever. I just so I don't even deal with Instagram on the Why I'm Angry podcast now. Facebook, Rumble, Twitch, um, all of those kind of deals, and then we're so with that, we also have gotten hit on Facebook and that for um, our disinformation, our things of that nature. And so we're, you know, this is one of those things that's just really getting you, you know, kind of worried a little bit about censorship and things like that. It's one thing to say that images of children and sex trafficking and drug trafficking is illegal, and you take those images down. But then as you go farther into it, some of these countries have put together pretty strict hate speech laws, and with those laws being in place, that leaves it up to interpretation of what is hate speech. Is it something that you disagree with? Is it something that offends you? Um, and that kind of thing. So it's one of those things that we're trying to watch and see where these things come to. But, you know, it says that that Telegram has nearly a billion users, that users can send encrypted messages in groups of up to 200,000 people. The app is popular among journalists, and activists and dissidents because of that, because they can send private messages, encrypted messages, that can't be seen by the rest of the network. Um, and so that's I guess why. I mean, I haven't done a whole lot with Telegram yet, but um, they've been on our list, I guess, or on our view to kind of to look into and things. So with that, there's also, let me find the article here. So on kind of on that subject, there's also Google has allowed some users to generate images of people again. They had a scandal where there were some historically um, inaccurate scenes depicted with their use. There's also some incorrect racial depictions. So they were, creating people in different colors and stuff like that. And so they pulled it down because it could be offensive to whoever saw it and all that. Um, Really, the issue is if your AI can create a photo that looks so much like a person, and not just random person, but so much like people, celebrities, um, or anything else, that you can't tell the difference, then there's the potential of that being used in a way that is not legal, or is misleading, I guess, at least. Um and so at that same point, the question is, why do we make that? If you it's not, it's not a, "Oh, okay, why not?" or whatever. But some of these AI things are becoming, um it's so easy to create something that you didn't really create, that you allowed a computer to create. And part of that is, back back when I was learning the, digital art or digital design, you still had to make your own items. You still had to make your own vectors, or you still had to, create your own the computer program, maybe he would create you a circle, but then you had to turn that circle into whatever design that you were trying to design. But now some of these AI things are, I mean, they're creating the whole thing for you. Even with backgrounds and stuff that I've created, there are backgrounds that, I've just been playing around with AI and just completely created the background of something. Whether it was like just, pertaining to a background for the church or something like that, and just completely created it with AI. And honestly, it's not a quicker way to do it. It just sometimes it can be more accurate to what you're actually creating. And you just have to, eventually get to the right words, or the right, variation, I guess, of what you're doing for your vision. So, um, so that, they just kind of begs the question of why are we doing it? Along with the article before about censorship and things of that nature, where we're, our censorship is becoming less on the fact of you did something wrong, and more on the fact of you offended somebody, which is, part of, when we were kids and you got into, being sensitive in the workplace and harassment. And also the key phrase back then you know, um, was just, if it offends somebody, then it's harassment. And so I think we've gotten to that point where it's the same thing, censorship based on if it offends somebody, it's no longer okay. And so, we were talking a little bit about the, comedy and how, we got censored over a comical meme, and that, because somebody acted like they fact checked a meme. W- I mean, come on. So, in a turn of events, though, on this, companies have decided to stop being so political. So we talked about how DE and I, diversity, inclusion, and all has has really kind of played its course a little bit in some of the businesses, and some of the businesses are deciding to step away from things that can be controversial or political, because they're seeing the backlash. They're seeing, Bud Light, I mean, it took a dive. It was the undisputed champion of beers, um, among around the world in things, and then all of a sudden, it there was a boycott, and it quickly plummeted and plummeted and dropped and dropped. I'm not sure where it's at now, um, but it lost its position. And so companies are seeing that. They're seeing the backlash that you see between, companies who have become political, and and they're companies that are there to create a profit for their employees, create a product for people. And some of these companies um, are product, or they sell products. They're not actually creating a product, but and in that, anytime you don't create the product and you just sell the product, there are other supply chains people could go to, other places that they could go to get their products and things like that. So, um, you're seeing companies like Tractor Supply or John Deere. The biggest one in the last week has been Lowe's. Lowe's decided to shut down its DE&I, um, section of the company, and they have decided to no longer, be a part of the pride movements, or parades or days or whatever. And then they're also no longer filling out the LGBT, um, surveys and things for their employees, and that, which, then they're also, with that, you would think then that, pronouns and things, obviously, if you're a nice person, you can use pronouns and whatever, if that person, but, at the same time, there should be able to be some level of assumption, without your head being bit off, or things like that. I mean, maybe somebody, maybe if you don't feel like your pronoun should be he and him, and you look like a he him, then you should have the understanding that, you know because you're not, you know the standard, then, maybe you should have some kind of grace, at least as Christians, that, you know we try to follow some bit of grace, and allow people to have, some semblance of their differences or whatever without, starting off combative. It's been tougher lately because everybody seems like they want to be combative. And, you know, some days I'm your huckleberry. I'm gonna be the one that takes up the fight against you. And that's not great. It's probably not as biblical and Christian as I would sometime hopefully hope it to be. But there are days that, again, I get all up in my feelings, just like everybody else. And I'll take that fight. So yeah, Lowe's is now part of that growing group, John Deere, um, and just different companies that have decided that, honestly, it's more trouble than it's worth. And if you get a bad social score, who cares? Like who like are we really going to hold, is the left really going to hold them to the fire on that? Or once they need their hot Cheetos or whatever, are they going to just cave and get their hot Cheetos? I know that there's been a few times where I felt strongly against the company, and eventually 6 7 months down the road, you know I needed something that company provided. And sometimes I've caved and gone back to that company. So that's you know and that just it depends on your convictions on it. I mean, sometimes that's a thing. So the space station that these two astronauts are stuck at, they went up there to do some work on it. We're supposed to come back like a day or two later. Now they're going to in June. It was supposed to be an 8-day mission, but they experienced helium leak and malfunctioning thrusters, and felt like that if they sent them back, they wouldn't make it. Um, so they they sent them back, or they sent it back without without getting without them in it. So they're sitting on a space station not built completely for them to stay on. And you know they've got some food, I guess, but it's roughly the size of a 5 bedroom house. It can accommodate 6 crew members, plus some visitors. 9 are currently aboard the facility, I guess. Um, but Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be coming back until January, February of next year. They It sounded like SpaceX was going to or SpaceX or the Elon Musk group was going to be able to come up and get them, but they weren't ready for with the new rocket until February. So, but then then it was a Boeing rocket that went up there. So, you never know what kind of safety measures or maintenance measures they've gone through over the last, time. So, um we just had raids in the West Bank. Israel is starting to um continue their search of Hamas into the West Bank. They've also had heightened violence there, obviously with the Palestinian population in the West Bank, and then also Israeli population also there. That obviously creates a level of tension and hostility. Um, there was a rocket attack that was knocked down from Israel, Hezbollah in Lebanon. Shot rockets into Israel. Israel's air defense is pretty good, saying that we designed it, and they did. It stopped the rockets coming in, and so they struck back, killed another a major Hezbollah leader. Um, so that you know that's made tensions even more. So um, there was one other thing here that I was going to go over. The Houthis are finally allowing um, some tugboats to reach the Greek oil tanker that they basically caught on fire. It's been 1 million barrels of crude oil ablaze in the Red Sea. U.S. Defense Department says the tanker attacked by Houthi rebels over the weekend is likely leaking oil. Um, and that just exacerbates things. But at least finally it puts a spotlight on what they're doing. That they're not, that they're attacking ships. They're attacking American ships. They've been attacking American military, American freighters, and now this Greek oil ship. Hopefully, someone then can get on, decides that this is a serious a deal and actually starts to defend our properties and defend our things because, we even talked about a couple of weeks back that there's like some 67 bases in the Middle East that are just sitting targets for attacks and things, and they have been attacked on a regular basis. They're undermanned, they're understaffed, and they're being attacked without the equipment that they need, without the ability to defend themselves properly. So the FBI reported the shooter at the Trump rally had researched campaign schedules of both former President Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Saw the Pennsylvania rally as a target of opportunity. So they're trying to downplay it, that it wasn't based on just Trump. It was, he just wanted to get his name out there. It wasn't targeting Trump. It was targeting a high profile person. So, lessen the actual, you know, worry about who it was actually supposed to be about. Kind of along the same lines as the um censoring and that. And I got an article here that says California Democrats are hoping to pass legislation that will allow location tracking technology on all alternative license plates and registration cards. So basically, if you have a digital registration, um, then they would, if it was on an app or something like that, then they would be able to use that to track you. That app would be able to use your location. And then if you say you were the suspect in a murder, then they would be able to track your phone based off of that app. That app would allow them to track your location because you have a digital registration. They're talking about the technology for digital license plates. And if you used a digital license plate, then you would also have that same tracking. They would be able to track your car to wherever your car is at that time. So, Just another surveillance state deal, tracking you down, being able to find you quickly. I mean, if you wanted to live in a police state like that, then this is a thing for you. You're be excited about this. Same thing with digital currency. This should be part of your excitement. So last article today, we're just going to keep it short, keep it sweet. NFL star Chris Jones offers to pay $1.5 million worth of stolen chicken wings after a cafeteria worker is sentenced. So the basically in Chicago, Chicago-based lawyers saw the reports that an NFL star wanted to put down over $1 million of his own money to get a local cafeteria worker out of prison. He thought at first it was a hoax. Then Patrick O'Byrne tells People magazine that he got a call from someone he understood was Chris Jones, confirming that the Kansas City Chiefs defensive tackle wanted to pay. He said, "I will pay for the wings that she stole to get her free." The problem with this is that we don't have a justice system like that where you pay to get out of jail. If you stole from somebody, yes, you can give the money back, but you still stole from somebody. And so there is some kind of criminal prosecution that happens. So some kind of judicial process that you go through. So with this, it's the same type of deal. If he gave that $1.5 million back for the chicken wings, she still stole. She still broke the law. She still committed a crime. And that. So, it's the case went viral because Vera Liddell, who was working as a cafeteria consultant for the Illinois school district, admitted that she stole $1.5 million worth of chicken wings. It's 11,000 cases between July 2020 and February, not right now, and February of 2022, according to her. Just 1 minute. According to her lawyer Gregory LaPapa, the chicken wings were intended for underprivileged children receiving free lunches. So, Gregory LaPapa, the chicken wings were intended for underprivileged children receiving free lunches during the pandemic shutdown, he says. And so, if that's the case, then fine. Robin Hood, rob from the rich, steal from and give to the poor, blah blah blah. You think, okay, that's not bad. She didn't mean to, she wasn't trying it for herself, blah blah blah. The problem is that O'Brien, Brian says that the church-going 68-year-old woman from Cook County, Illinois, who has no previous criminal record, made false orders of chicken wings, which she then resold and gambled away the proceeds. She's just a little sweetheart that got a gambling problem, he said. She feels beyond terrible about this, and this is totally uncharacteristic of her. It was the disease taking over. The records obtained by People show that she struggled financially, filing for bankruptcy twice in Chicago courts from 2009 and then again in 2016. On Friday, August 9th, Liddell pleaded guilty to 1 count of felony theft of more than $1 million and was sentenced to 9 years in prison, according to the Cook County 6th Municipal Clerk's Office. Liddell, who, per the courts, was given credit for 6 days she had already spent in jail, is slated for discharge in 2030, and she'll be up for parole in 2029. Obviously, since this was such a violent crime, she will stay in jail and not be let out early um, because of overpopulating or population in jails or prisons lately. But they'll let out the murderers and things like that, obviously. Because it was $1 million, it's a class 10 felony. Normally it carries anywhere from 6 to 30 years behind bars. Obviously, she got a little bit more than the minimum, but not anywhere close to the maximum. She seems like a little church lady, but obviously she has a major problem. You don't just like gamble away $1 million or $1.5 million worth of chicken. I mean, she literally sold these chicken wings, so she had to find someone who was buying chicken wings. She had to work at doing this to do this, and then she gambled away like, I can tell you that in my life, I don't know that I have done $1 million worth of anything except for buying antiques and things, or sometimes there's this, or sales. I probably in my life, sales wise, sold over $1 million worth of products pretty easily, maybe even two or three. But the purchasing side of things, I've definitely purchased over $1 million worth of antiquities and things. um but just to be able to, like, to fathom what $1 million is, to be able to, like, work out $1 million, although it is less than it used to be, obviously. Um, yeah, that just, to gamble away $1 million within, what was it, 2020 to 2002, in 2 years' time. That's pretty big stuff right there. You're working pretty heavily. Like, the disease took over, yeah, you went full blown. It's a good thing you weren't like an alcoholic or drug dealer, drugs, because you would be dead. I mean, you'd like 100% dead. You would have gone on binges. You would be like one of those binge people that, just there's weekends where you just don't even remember what you've done because you went on a binge. And the same type of thing with with these chicken wings. Obviously, you went on weekend gambling trips or weekend gambling things that, you know, yeah. But yeah, so $1.5 million worth of chicken wings, 11,000 cases. That's got to be over 1 million chicken wings. You gambled away 1 million chicken wings. Yep. I don't know. Well, again, if you've listened to this to the end, we appreciate it. That helps our metrics and all of that. If you've downloaded this podcast, we appreciate that also. If you get on and share, like our podcast, that definitely helps. We also on Spreaker now, and you'll see in the comments below a link to our uh, our help page where we have premium content now. Anything that's over a year old has pretty much gone into our premium content. So if you want to listen to some of our old podcasts, see what we've said before, what we're about, how we do things, jump on. $2 a month gets you free access or gets you access without limitations. And then also, if you also, we have some podcasts on there. We did a podcast last week with Moggs about the election and his take on what's going on right now. And he has a pretty funny take about Biden and that, and how the jig was in. So jump on that, get in there, get to listen to those podcasts. I'm sure as we continue to do this is pretty new, that we'll add more and more. I'm trying to get on earlier in the week to kind of give an early weekend update type thing, and all of that. So get on, help us out. Why I'm Angry Podcast on Spreaker and Spreaker.com. It's our distribution site. They also help us with with, like I said, the link to the $2 a month help and support, and keeps you going here. So help out, get on, follow, like, and share, like always.
Remember to follow, like, and share the Why I'm Angry podcast across all social media platforms and anywhere you get your podcast. The Why I'm Angry podcast ends now.